Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We've got ourselves another Serral point of view cast, and he's going to be playing a big Zerg vs Protoss ladder match against a player. I thought this was Max Packs. Basal Ganglia, apparently a part of the brain.
Know who this player is even?
Oh, he doesn't know it's Skillless. He says, I don't know who it is. 6.9 kmmr. So it has to basically be, I was thinking Max Packs or Showtime, but apparently Skillless is right up there at almost 7,000 mmr as well. Skillless, of course, a fantastic Protoss player who's been coming up lately. Now, Serral turned his camera off for this stream. He said it was a bit less stressful in between the games. He was like, I'm turning my camera off. Probably, you know, you're there, you're stressing out, you're winning, losing games. He looks at his camera and gets to see a preview of his face looking all intense, and he's like, is that what I look like, you know? So he turned his camera off for this one, but it's all right. He's still commentating, and hopefully you can hear him well. Now, one thing I've noticed is about 50% of my audience can understand Serral's Finnish accent perfectly and get annoyed at me for repeating everything he says, as he does get blocked there.
That's tragic.
That is tragic. You do not like having to take your third base, but great early block there by Skillless. So I am still going to translate everything Serral says, or most of it. I will repeat what he says a lot. If you guys already understand Serral's accent, I apologize. I know this is going to be annoying, but for everyone else, you're going to get a live translation of a Finnish man speaking English with a Finnish accent, which, to be fair, is nowhere near as thick as it was 5, 6, 7 years ago when he was first kind of coming up in the scene. But after many years of interviews and talking in English many times, I actually usually can understand what he's saying, but in the heat of the moment with the game sounds, we may miss a thing or two. Either way, for those who don't know, Serral is the greatest StarCraft 2 player of all time. We're going to be watching his point of view and really studying how he plays. Now, you'll notice that probe right now is trying to deny the mining.
That's a very lackluster probe, Perez.
Very lackluster probe,
does it? I don't think he has done it once so far, actually.
He hasn't managed to deny the drone even once. So what's happening?
Millisecond.
Oh, there we go. Finally, Serral got cocky, and he did lose a second of mining there. But basically, the probe just harasses it by trying to start mining the mineral patch, and then it stops mining before it actually takes the minerals off the patch. Because once you've got minerals in your hand, you can't keep mining. But the rule in the game logic is only one miner can mine from a patch at a time, and then it's occupied. So what Serral does is whenever the probe starts mining, he just spam clicks his drone, because if he doesn't do that, the drone's automatically going to run to another patch and get confused, go, oh, there's nowhere to mine from, all these other patches are taken, and just bounce around the mineral line getting confused. So by spamming clicking there, as soon as Skillless has to break away to stop mining the 5 minerals, the drone just occupies the patch and says, oh, I'm in control of it, no worries. And we've got Adepts getting chrono boosted out of that.
The Morph Gate install, I didn't watch.
Ooh, he's saying Serral didn't actually watch if Warp Gate started straight away because he was distracted by the probe in his build order. That's really rare. Now, interestingly, he is going Creep Tumor first in the main base.
He's gonna shade in anyways, so.
He's saying, okay, he's going to shade in anyways, so we've got to get ready for this. He's spreading creep from his main because he had to take his third. He needs to get creep connecting these bases as quickly as possible. So he's injected the third base because this is where he wants extra lava popping out, where he can build drones on location and have them immediately mine. Whereas if he builds more drones in his main, lava injects down here, they're going to have to run through no man's land, getting picked off by the Adept to get to that base where there's actual unoccupied mineral patches. So you can see just the little details being adjusted in the early game, and Serral's early game is the best in the world. I've been learning a lot watching him, and what I'm curious, is he still going melee? Last few big tournaments, he did really well, doing a lot of Evo Chamber fast melee upgrade, but lately, a lot of players have just been rushing Hydras, Dark especially, a big fan of that, and I'm wondering if Serral is part of that same mindset. Now, he's assuming it's a Stargate build, even though we didn't see it, so he's going to have a second queen popping out at the third base. Oh, it's late! He's just, I was like, where's the second queen? He accidentally built the second queen in his main, which is the wrong base. You're meant to build that at the third, so you're meant to defend your third with 2 queens, and then your main base with the Spore Crawler and a queen, but he messed that up, so he's had to build a second Spore earlier than he wants. And now he's not sure if, he hasn't seen an Oracle, so he's like, wait, is this Glaive Adept? So he's got to build a safety Roach Warren now. Now he sees the third base come down, which tells him this is probably a Stargate build. He just hasn't seen the Oracle yet, so he cancels his Roach Warren, and he's supply blocked on 58. This is about as disastrous of an opening
what's happening, but
as you could expect.
Just gonna make mass links and do nothing with them, most likely.
He says, I don't know what's happening, because he hasn't seen an Oracle yet. He says, but I'm just going to make mass lings and probably do nothing with them, most likely, because he's like, look, if there's Adepts coming, I need something. I've cancelled my Roach Warren. I don't want to build it again. I've got 3 Spores. He's just like, I don't know what the hell is going on in this game. Now, we know this is not a Stargate build at this point.
Stack, to be honest with you.
He's going to try and counterattack with some, but oh, it is Stargate. Lucky he committed to the Spore Crawlers. Still loses 3 or 4 drones, maybe 5 drones up there, which is rough.
Yeah, this is quite over already.
This is quite over already. He feels like he's kind of screwed.
These units, it's over instantly.
He says, if I don't kill these units, it's over instantly. He gets 2 Adepts for 10 Zerglings.
Not that. Okay, that was really good for me.
Oh, if he can't get rid of those Adepts, he's in big trouble. He needs to slow this third down.
So
okay, now he can overwhelm.
I realized I messed up this bit.
Okay. Oh, energy refill though, and those oracles are going to push him back. Okay, this is fascinating because Serral's commentating a lot. He's going to try and take a 4th in the far north. I love this straight line expansion pattern. It's going to expand as far away from Skillis as possible. Whereas if he took the one next to his main, it would kind of be towards Skillis's third, would give him an easier Blink Stalker pressure angle. Okay, so you can see he's going to go Roach Warren for a bit of safety in case there is some sort of Zealot Arc on attack. He's trying to go for that gas now. Oracle's coming in.
Some DNS builds here, so...
Ah, he's playing some DNS builds. Giving credit to Adrian. DNS, of course, famous French pro gamer, very good player. He's a very tricky Protoss player. And that's what this build is. This build, the move out with the Adepts was so convincing because it looked exactly like what would happen with a Prism coming out. You got your Glaive Adepts about to finish. You got Twilight Robo. The 4 Adepts was convincing, and then bam, those 2 Oracles, which he hit around the top of the map.
Okay,
got some good damage.
Stalkers there.
He's not sure if it's a Glaive follow-up. He was looking for Stalkers. I think he said he did see Stalkers. It's surprisingly good for him, he's saying. He's got 3 mineral lines full of workers. He's starting to add the gases. And it looks like he's going Roach speed. +1 range should come in on that Evo chamber. Yeah, he starts +1 range. Serral is so good. Oh, look at that. He tries to hide the Overseer from the Oracles. Dude, the reaction speed on that and how quick he moves, because he knows if it gets spotted coming, there'll be Stalkers on the edge of the base killing it before it gets in for the scout. Serral's so aware and so interactive with his opponent, you know. It's kind of funny. I obviously play every race at GM level. I'm pretty proud of my play. I felt like I had a pretty good early game against Max in a tournament yesterday. But when I watch the way Serral looks at everything on the map and is aware of what his opponent's doing at every second, it is so staggering to me. Good counter, though, with those Lings. Even though his Roaches are getting wrecked, he's trying to focus down those weak Stalkers that blink to the back. Those Queens getting a few pickoffs. Lings trying to help out.
I guess it was just too bad at the start and not having the Lings there.
All right, Serral's kind of saying it's too bad of a start. It's too bad of an early game with the Zerglings not doing enough damage.
I get my Roach speed in a moment there.
He feels like he's pretty much dead at this point. He knows he's on the back foot. Of course, we've seen Serral on his stream count himself out and then still play perfectly and win the game so many times. So this is not unfamiliar territory for the Finnish Phenom. He's going to try and split between both bases. He's got a bit of creep out there, which is helping him. Trying to spread creep. And the Ravager Biles can also help slow things down. The Zergling in front will set off any stasis traps. Ah! No, it won't. Missed that one on the flank. Got units down the bottom coming in as well. Oracles do get pushed back by the Queens. And here we go. Those Adepts are going to shade into his natural potential. He's got to split some units for those Adepts, I think. Infestation Bit and Banelings. He's going to play Ravagerling Bane old school, baby. Wow. We never see anyone trust the Banelings anymore, but feels like Serral's saying, look, he's so committed to Gateway Man style. He's going to start running Zealots in. If I have some Banelings to clear those Zealots, my Roach Ravager Zergling can do the rest against the Stalkers. And he might be right. You know, a lot of players have lost faith in this style. Serral's the one guy who's just so good and he's got so much experience at it. He might just be able to brute force his way through. Defends that well, transfers out of his main at 8:45. Between 8:30 and 9 minutes, your main base will always lose 4 of its mineral patches. They'll mine out, so you should always drop from 16 workers in the main down to 8 at that moment. Serral is one of the most consistent players at remembering to do that almost every single game. It's these little details that add up, these habits that he's baked deep into his play that allow him to be so good. Baneling speed starts up, Hive's on the way as well. Ling Roach splits down the bottom to clean up the Zealot counter because he knew those Zealots were hiding, but the Stalkers are coming. The Stalkers are coming, and they're much more mobile than his Roaches. Oh, he's going to lose quite a few Roaches. Great movement there by Skillis. Here we go. Roach Ravagerling comes down, but he loses his 5th hatchery up the top, getting jumped on, but the Lings are up there. Pretty sure he's only got +1 range, which means his Zerglings not that effective as units.
But this so unnecessary as well to lose that location.
So unnecessary to lose that location as well. I love Serral's constant frustration and disappointment with himself. For anyone who's never watched a Serral point of view stream, It really is just constantly Serral being so disappointed in himself. Like, it's got real, I'm not mad, son. I'm disappointed. Like, I really feel like he's a dad. He's his own coach. He's his own dad who's just constantly like, we can do better. Come on. Is this good enough?
Trading is pretty impressive.
It's why he's so good. Trading's doing pretty well for him, though. He's pointing that out. He's saying, yeah, you know, the trading's doing okay. Adrenal gland starts the moment the hive's done. He's got melee upgrades coming in on that second Evo chamber. So he's got double Evo upgrades. He's got Bane speed kicking in. A few Banelings getting morphed here and there. Banelings get caught in the bottom. So he's going to have to split some more units down there to deal with those Zealot counters. Okay, so he's almost maxed. At the moment, Skillus is playing Gateway Man. The scary thing is, what if Skillus is going Storm right now? If Skillus is going for Storm, and we're still on Ravagerling Bane when there's like 6-7 High Templar with lots of energy, suddenly this army doesn't look very good for Serral. Oh god. But the Stalker's kind of run into the Ling Bane. Bit of a derpy move command for Skillus. Oracle's going to be getting some value there as the Stalkers try to start a set back. Serral just kind of A-moving it. Not much else to be done in a fight like that. Tries to bile the Oracle, but will not land. His Oracles are almost out of juice, so he doesn't have to respect them too much, but he doesn't want to just chase down a choke point. Is this Skillus or Max Pack? Sorry, guys. I thought it was Max Pack, so I forgot to change the stream title for those watching live. It is actually Skillus, we found out. Serral does not know who he's playing. He does not know that this is Skillus. Basil Ganglia is the account name. Twitch chat has told me it's Skillus, apparently. We've usually got a few nerds in the chat who keep track of our top-ranked players' accounts and their different alternate IDs. Dude, that is a lot of Stalkers, but no splash damage. The Banelings going to force those Stalkers to spread back. Those Zealots going to cause him to split some units at home. The Stalkers trying to arc backwards. There's so many Stalkers. I feel like Skillus should be able to defend this. And oh, Serral's so screwed. He's so screwed, guys. His Banelings just got wrecked. They did nothing because the Stalkers just kept pulling back into this ever-expanding arc where the Banelings couldn't connect to anything. He's trying to make more Banes, but man, this Baneling style, I haven't seen him play this in a while. I think it's because he's just playing against a heavy pressure style. He feels like he has to commit to more low-tier units. Part of me says Ultras would be nice, but he doesn't really have the cash. Losing that 5th base earlier is why he's so poor, and he's stuck on Ravagerling Bane versus Mass Gateway. Neither player transitioning just yet. Obviously, if you try to invest in Ultra Cavern upgrades for it, start building Ultras, you might just not have enough units to win in the era now, and he doesn't want to let Protoss mine off a 4th base for free. He might want to click on the Nexus with some of those Lings. Stalker's still just pure Stalker. I don't know what the upgrades are. I think this must have been a double Forge play for him to still be on Mass Stalker.
Oh my god, he has Storm.
There's the Storms! There's the Storms! Oh, he did not want to be running into that. The Archon's morphing. He biles the morphing Archons. Does at least take out one of them, but man, those Storms were nasty, and he doesn't click on the Nexus. I don't know, man. I think Serral's not happy with his position. He's taking a 6th base, but it's very exposed on this map. Going past 5 bases on Frostline is incredibly hard. There's a Prism in his main. Now, every Zerg hates the Prism, guys, because it's a 2-supply unit that can build units in your base. Good surround, though. Only a few of the Zealots get saved. Good defense so far. So the annoying thing there is the threat of the Prism is variable, and that's what most Zergs struggle with. Serral, though, is an expert at handling it. Just sending queens, reacting with whatever Lings are popping out.
He's gonna have so many Storms now.
Problem is he's going to have so many Storms now, says Serral. He knows he's got to get in there before the Storm count gets too high. So he's going to try and break the natural with the Banelings. If he can get in the main and the natural, he can cause chaos, and he might force enough mistakes, and the Storms might not hit. Oh, good position there by Skillus, but the Lingbane's getting in. Skillus snap recalls to the natural, but guess what? That means he's got a lot less army on this side. Where's the Storms? Serral running in. There is a few Storms there. He's going to have to pull back from that side. His Lings in the natural actually overwhelming.
Rampa is actually kind of killing everything.
Yeah, it wasn't a big enough recall. So, like, I would have expected this to be more of a distraction in the main army to do damage, but it was actually such a quick recall. Skillus kind of panic recalled, only recalled like 8 Stalkers into a Ling Bane surround. Not as effective as it needed to be. So he's done good damage with the run by, pulled back with his main army, and that's the pattern recognition of the greatest player of all time. Realizing, whoa, I was expecting this army to be the real punch, the other one to be the jab, but swap it around, swap it around. Based on how your opponent responds, you always want to go with the 1-2. Sometimes you change it to a 2-1. Baneling's going in. He's going to roll in. Sentry's trying to warp in. Does he click on it? He's trying to blow up the Sentry. Sentry's Does take big damage. Their sentries are no longer light units, so they don't actually take bonus from the banelings, which is why it took so many to kill. But he's getting good trades. Ling Bane is relatively cheap. He does have 6 bases mining. Prism's not active right now. And it feels like, was this 4th base in the very bottom a mistake for Protoss? I think it might have been.
How many Immortals I have seen here.
If Protoss can just leave a High Templar
that's for sure.
and get a cannon battery up on the natural wall, they can focus on dominating the south side of the map. And that's where Serral runs into another problem, which is, what's our next step? Like, I think he's going Ultras. He's been on Ravager Bane for such a long time, and the problem with this army is it's so fragile, it's so vulnerable to storms, so it's very skill dependent. There we go, yeah. Chitinous plating starting on the Ultra Cavern as it finishes. Queens and Spore instantly ready. His Overlord always watching that, and he's always keeping an eye on his minimap in that bottom left side to see when that comes in. He's going to click on the gateway and the Cybercore with those Lings, break the wall down to open up another front. I think seeing all this High Templar, and no High Templar here. There's one, but no energy recharge apparently. There, okay, yes, there is energy recharge. Hold, okay, he's got to pull out. Ow.
100 Lings didn't do much against those units.
100 Lings doesn't do anything against Zealots and Storm in a choke point. No, it does not, Serral. It does not. But 4 base Protoss, he's on 6 base. There's hope here because he's kept the Protoss economy low. He's damaged the natural. He's damaged the 4th workers multiple times. He's going to start transitioning into gas, realizing, uh-oh, I don't actually have enough money. Even building a few extra drones there. I would guess Serral's been hovering on about 80 drones this whole time, just from where his mining's at. Because he's built a few more spores and spines around, he adds a few more drones as the game goes on. Remember, as you add static as a Zerg in the late game, add a few spores. Build a few drones, add a few spores and spines, build a few drones. Do not kill your own work account by sacrificing them all to build static D. It's a lot of Archon Immortal.
Actually a lot of Immortals. I'm not so sure about this anymore.
He's not so sure because he saw a lot of Immortals. It was actually mostly Archons. I think there was only 2 Immortals. I think he's still got a window. Oh, he does not want that Ultra to be seen. He wants to hide the Ultras to the last second, because if he can surround the army, get rid of the Immortal count, especially if there's only 1 Robo, it's going to take a long time to rebuild. This is great. Getting High Templar, getting probes, and Skillis has not done a good enough job of defending his natural this entire time. That's been the big problem here. And look, he's hiding the Ultras. He does not want that Prism to see those Ultras, guys. He wants to get a surround on the army and crush it, but he doesn't have any Vipers, no Fungal either. He didn't have the gas for it.
Of these upgrades, which would be nice.
Yeah, he wants a few more upgrades to finish before he fights. I think he's waiting for like 3-2 on the Ultra Zergling upgrades. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something like that. The big thing here is if you have Blinding Clouds on the Immortals, they're not very good. If you're an Immortal Archon, surround that ball, drop Blinding Clouds, it'll get wrecked, but easier said than done, right? Zergling's trying to get in the wall, not quite able to. He's going to go for it.
It's only 3 Immortals.
It's only 3 Immortals, exactly. He's realized. But those Banelings, very vulnerable. They're very clumped up for the Storms. Oh, the Ultras get a great angle. The Banelings get hammered by Storm. Ultras getting tickled down. Not a good attack angle for Serral at all. The Banelings, he came in too clumped up. He needed to take his time and spread. He wanted to defend the base. He throws the army away. Huge mistake for Serral. And so rare to see this. But he's been on the back foot from the early game.
I don't know about that.
It was not a good fight.
It's shocking. But I still think I can do it.
He says, I still think I can do it, even though that was a kind of shocking fight, because he's got a fresh base in the top. There's no Storm. The Archons are good, but if the Ultras tank the Archon shots, then the Zerglings will do crazy damage. 3-2 Adrenal Zerglings are insane. He's got to go for it now. He can't let more Archons morph. Great Storm on the left side does do big damage. The Lings coming in, transfuses the Ultras. Mass transfuse on the Ultras, but remember, it's only 75 healing these days, and it's not...
Ultras are actually so bad.
Ultras are actually so bad. You don't hear Serral say that very often. The sound of disgust from Serral. He laughed at his ass off saying...
3 Immortals as well there, so I thought it could work with... But
1 Viper. 1 Viper would be a game changer, Serral.
I forgot how bad they are.
I forgot how bad Ultras are. Come on, man. 1 Viper, 1 Blinding Cloud would have been amazing. No, it's just this angle. If he rewatches this fight, guys, you're going to see the disgust on his... His Banelings did nothing. He needed to flank better. He came in, 2 columns. Let's see if he realizes. So yeah, he's talking about the Banelings now. He's realizing his army's attacking around corners here. He's going to be clumping around here and clumping around here. He should have moved these northern units up here over to the right side more, and even just off screen to the right of that Archon and even below that bit of terrain there. And these units should have moved down to the left below the hatchery on that left side of the screen. And then he could have closed in from both sides on this army. But instead, he kind of came from in 2 columns, walking into the storm. This was really bad fight for Serral. Very uncharacteristic. Oh, where's his commentary? Oh, he's just silently watching. Three for Protoss as well. Keep in mind, it was double forge. He doesn't even say to I guarantee you he's processing what I just said. In his own mind, he's thinking the same thing, but he's so disgusted with that engagement.
He's the prettiest fight for the Bailings.
Not the prettiest fight for the Bailings, and then he just stares at it in disgust, going, yeah, this was not a good fight. Yeah, those 3 Ultras on the right, a bit too slow to get in. And you can see what I talked about with the Blinding Cloud, guys. Imagine if, go back a few seconds,
Wasn't the prettiest fight for the Bailings.
At this point, if you fly a Viper in with the army, even if it's a little behind the army, you drop a Blinding Cloud around here on those Immortals while coming in from 2 sides. The Immortals suddenly aren't doing, at the moment, they're doing 65 damage a shot times 3. 195 damage. They're going boom, boom. And with the extra damage in the Archons and Stalkers, they're essentially 2-shotting Ultralisks. They're going bam, kill an Ultra, bam. You know, every 2 shots. You get the Blinding Cloud down, they just kind of go, oh, I can't hit anything. And they end up hitting random Zerglings that run into melee range with them. So I do think a single Viper is super necessary when you go to Ultra Tech. But yeah, dude, hats off to Skillers for just keeping the pressure up and dancing with Serral for this long. And rare to see Serral make a mistake like this. This was an awesome game. GG, well played. Hats off to Serral for even making it as close as he did after what was a pretty rough start. Remember, he was calling it early on because he was really tricked by Skillers' opening. He didn't know if it was Stargate or Twilight.
Yeah.
He took a bit of damage. His Mass Ling production didn't really get any damage done on the 3rd.
+3 Carapace.
+3 Carapace maybe would have helped him out. But it is what it is. GG, well played. And Serral there. Wait, did his MMR drop, guys?
That cancelled the +3 Carapace.
Has Serral been losing more games? Oh no, he exited the screen before the MMR counted up. He's probably still like 7,300. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this point of view cast. I'll catch you guys in the next one.